Your kitchen may look clean, but I promise these 5 spots are hiding some seriously gross stuff. Today we are going to tackle those 5 things that you probably forgot to clean, but once you do, your whole kitchen will feel so much better. I'm going to be cleaning each of these with you today because I have put these off for a really long time. So grab your supplies and join me, or just watch to learn and have some inspiration. And we are going to be starting with the dishwasher. Most of us seem to wipe down the outside every now and then, but the thing that we are forgetting are the seals here, down here where it's really gross, and then the worst spot of all is the filter inside the bottom of our dishwasher. I'm gonna go ahead and remove both of these racks here so that I can clean this a lot easier. Just gonna set them aside. Now, my mom taught me really well when I was young how to clean, but there are a few things she missed, and this is one of them. I did not know that I needed to clean my dishwasher. I haven't cleaned in here or even emptied the filter out for a long time, so we are going to find out how disgusting this is together. First of all, you can see that sometimes I get things in here. This is a grapevine. I have kids that just sometimes don't rinse off their plates good enough. A piece of egg. That's disgusting. All right, so we're just gonna twist this filter here. Oh my gosh. Oh, gross. Ah. That's so disgusting. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That is so gross. You can pop this part off, I think. Oh my gosh. Ew, 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 ew. I'm gonna fill my sink with some hot water. I'm gonna fill it up with about a cup of vinegar, a tiny bit of dish soap. I am going to rinse it off before we put it in that water to soak. That's probably good enough. That's gonna go in there. No wonder why my dishwasher smelled so bad. All right, that's gonna go in there. Okay, while this is soaking, we're gonna clean the inside of the dishwasher. We want this to soak for about 20 to 30 minutes. From what I have read, you can just pop this off, this spinner arm. So I'm gonna give that a shot and see. Oh yeah, it just pops right off. These can get clogged up, these little spray holes. So I'm gonna plop that into the sink as well to get that soaking. Now, I also read that it is normal to have some water in the bottom, but not dirty water. And mine is really dirty and disgusting, and I wanna be able to get it clean. So I'm gonna just scoop some of it out. And I need a different cup. Oh, so nasty. Oh my gosh. Hold my breath. Let me just show you the inside of that. Yeah. So don't feel so bad if yours looks as disgusting as mine. Okay, now we're gonna spray the entire interior. And the spray that I was talking about earlier, here this is 1 cup of water, 1 cup of vinegar, and 1 teaspoon of dish soap. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start spraying it in here. I'm gonna spray it liberally because it's disgusting. And then we gotta make sure we pay special attention to these seals here along the sides, along the top. And then one of the worst spots, like I mentioned, is right here. It's full of black goo and all along the bottom here. I've been letting this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna start wiping this down with my cloth, starting from the top and working my way down. Just making sure to get every spot I can see. Now, there is some gunk that's kind of stuck back here. I could get my toothbrush out and clean that, which I think I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna give it one more little squirt on each side there where it's kind of gross. I'm just gonna give it a gentle scrub here. Might as well do it along the bottom here. I can see a bunch of gunk coming off. Okay, that is before getting the nasty filter part, the inside, the housing in there. I'm gonna hold off on that part because it is the grossest. We're going to move on to this part here on the bottom. Now, this little rubber seal here, you might want to kind of pick it up a little bit because that's where a lot of this black gunk is. And then here along the bottom, oh, yuck. Don't judge me. Please don't judge me. So gross. Oh, yuck. And there's food particles in there. Let me get this part. Oh yeah, there we go. I think that is good. Oh, look at that. That is so gross. This is gonna be disgusting. Oh, yuck. Oh, I'm gonna need my toothbrush here on this part. I'm just gonna work my toothbrush back here as much as I possibly can. Get as much as I can here. This is gonna be a nasty part, but I'm gonna let this cloth just kind of soak up this water so I can get as much of the grime down here as I possibly can. I'm just gonna kind of scrub inside here. All right, this is looking so much better. We're gonna run a cycle through the dishwasher here just to get all of this gunk completely out. And I guess we will come back and see if all of that is gone. I'm just gonna gently wipe down the seal along here. We have hard water, so you can see some hard water stains here. The vinegar is helping it get off. And then I'm gonna make sure to go along the top here as well. And then I'm gonna take my rag here, just give it a wipe to get all of that residue off. You may want to vent your kitchen a little bit with the smell of the vinegar so strong here. So I have opened my windows. I'm gonna just go ahead and spray and wipe the door here. I wanna pay close attention to the sides here. This is where it meets the seal and it's pretty dirty. Now I have something here that feels like glue. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm gonna take a soft little scraper here, or a rubber scraper. I'm just gonna scrape off this stuff here. There we go, easy peasy. All right, I'm gonna slide these all back on. I just realized I forgot a sprayer arm right here. Oh yeah, I could pop that one off. So I'll probably soak that after we run this because I'm ready to run this dishwasher. But I did have dishes inside these and I just went ahead and took those dishes out because we don't want any dishes in here while we do this wash. All right, we're gonna rinse off this stuff here. I'm just gonna kind of like that. If I saw that it had hard water or anything stuck on it, I could take a toothpick and just kind of poke in there. But it doesn't seem like there's anything there. I'm just gonna wipe this all off, give it a quick little scrub, as well as both of these. Mine has like hair stuck in it, which is extra gross. Yuck, yuck. Let me remind you how gross this is. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's not just gonna rinse off, so we're gonna use the toothbrush here to scrub it all off. Once I'm done scrubbing it, I'm going to rinse it off and then we are going to pop this into the dishwasher. Let me show you how much better that looks. You can actually see through the filter. I'm going to put just this measuring cup, I'll set it right there. I'm gonna pour in some vinegar. I'm gonna close that up. And then here I'm going to just throw in the filter right there. And then also I forgot, I need to add back on the spinner arm. Okay, that's on. All right, now one little tip here before we turn on the dishwasher is to make sure you turn on your sink, you wanna wait till your water is really hot. That way we know that hot water is gonna be starting in your dishwasher right away. So we're gonna get that started and we'll move on to the next spot as this is getting washed. I'm curious to know if you remember the last time that you cleaned your dishwasher, or have you never cleaned it before? Because a lot of people don't know that you need to clean your dishwasher. There is absolutely no shame in it. Make sure to leave a comment so that we all know that it's normal and it's okay to forget to clean it or to not even know that you need to clean it. One of the most disgusting places in the kitchen is also attached to the dishwasher here, but we are going to get to that a little bit later. The next spot we are going to work on is often missed, and I totally get it. You know, it's hard to remember that these things need to be done, and it's also really hard to keep up on all of it. Luckily, these aren't things that we have to do all the time, but one of the spaces that gets really bad is right here above our stove. It gets super, super greasy and gross. I have mine under my microwave because that's what's above my stove. Other people may have a range hood where it vents the air outside. Mine does not vent the air outside. I think it just comes here above my microwave, which is probably why my cabinets are always so gross and dirty above. Right above your stove is where you're going to find the filter, and let me show you how to take that filter out. It's really simple. There's a little notch here. I'm just gonna push it up and over, and then I can pull it out. And this is really greasy, and right here above it, this is really greasy too. So we're gonna make sure that we give this a nice good clean. All of this underneath here needs to be cleaned off. Now, if you can see, this filter is really greasy and grimy, and you can see that it's brown. So I'm gonna go, and it's, yeah, my fingers are really greasy from this. So I'm gonna take this to the sink, and I'm also gonna soak this in a sink with hot water, vinegar, and dish soap. Okay, I'm just gonna use this to kind of get it all sudsy. All right, we're gonna plop that in there. And we're gonna give that a good soak. All right, this has been soaking for a while. You can see how gross the water's gotten. If yours is really gross, extra grimy, you might want to add in some baking soda to your water. I might end up doing that, but I'm taking a soft brush here. I'm just gonna gently go brush over the filter here. Might be easier to do it inside the water in the sink. All right, rinse it under some hot water. And that's done. We need to make sure we let this sit out to dry for a while and have it completely dry before we put it back above your stove. Now I want to make sure that I'm not going to ruin any of the electrical elements here, so I'm not going to spray directly onto the bottom of the microwaver or the range hood. I'm just going to go ahead and spray this vinegar spray onto my rag here, and then I'm just gonna start wiping. So today I've decided to not really use any harsh chemicals. I'm using the vinegar, dish soap, and some baking soda today. But you can also use a degreaser. Dish soap is a really good degreaser. Just like maybe even dip this in a hot soapy water solution and just kind of rinse it off. But you can also find a degreaser spray and spray it onto your rag and wipe it down as well. But I'm finding that this vinegar solution that I've made here is actually cutting grease really well. And I mentioned earlier about how my mom, you know, taught me how to clean really well, but we missed a few things that she didn't teach me. And I think maybe it's just that I wasn't listening or I was just too young to really understand all the ins and outs of taking care of a house. So, you know, my mom is amazing. She is amazing and taught me well. So I'm not complaining at all about how she raised me. Another thought here, I might try and spray it on some of these spots. I might just go like this and kind of block off the electrical stuff. And then it can kind of soak in there a little bit more. Some more spray here. I'm gonna wipe down this part, which is the greasiest part where the filter went. You can see how greasy that is. So if yours is really caked on and you're having a hard time getting rid of the grease, I would use a degreaser. Now again, there's some spaces in here that are going to be harder to get, but I am still going to go ahead and try on some of these spots. You can see how greasy it is up there. Okay, I can see that there is some grease under here that is not coming off that great. Over here it was going off fine. Okay, I've made a little bit of a baking soda paste here on a wet sponge. We're gonna give this a try. If this doesn't work, then we'll try and move on to a degreaser. I'm just gonna kind of wipe that on here. And then we're gonna let it just sit for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes maybe. All right, I've let it sit here for a little while. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a scrub here. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off. I can still see some grease spots here. It definitely has helped. Maybe I just need to use a little bit of elbow grease, a little more, to get some of these grease spots off. Yeah, that's all I need to do is just give it a little bit more elbow grease to get that off. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off with a clean, damp cloth just to get off any of the baking soda residue that's on here. And while I'm doing this, I did want to mention that I did end up soaking my filter again and added some of the baking soda. So I did some hot water, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of dish soap, and a little bit of baking soda, and let it soak in that for another 15-20 minutes. And it came out looking great. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Sure made a mess on my stovetop. That's okay, it wipes up easy. All right, here's the filter, and it's all the way dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick that back in here. Just remember to just push it down here a little bit and push it back. Just like that. Now that we've run the dishwasher through a cycle with vinegar, I'm gonna go ahead and run it through with a cup of baking soda, just sprinkled here along the bottom of the dishwasher. And let's get it going. Now here in the microwave, we're gonna wanna clean the whole outside and the inside. You wanna make sure you clean the little vent up here. Mine has it up here. Some of them have them here along the front. Mine gets really dusty and grimy. I just barely touched it. I don't know if you can see, but there's already grease on my fingers. But first I'm gonna start by just putting into my microwave here. I just have a cup of about half water, half vinegar. You could also squeeze a lemon and put the lemon juice in the water and the lemon in there. It will make it freshened up and taste, oh my gosh. It's gonna make your microwave all clean and shiny and smell really good. So what this does is it's gonna steam up and it's gonna loosen any of the grime that's in here. Now my microwave is actually pretty clean and I attribute it to this little guy here. He covers anything that I cook so it doesn't pop. So we wash this thing often. I do still have crumbs and stuff along the bottom and some things along the top here that have splattered just a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna set mine here for probably about 3 minutes. I want it to get nice and hot and steamy in there. Okay, I just heard this pop. So 3 minutes was too long. It splattered everywhere. Oops, that's okay. At least we know that it's hot. I'm gonna let this just kind of sit for a minute and we're gonna work up here. First, I'm gonna just spray some of this vinegar spray onto my cloth here. You can see here along the top, this is where it gets really greasy and grimy. So I'm gonna take that cloth, I'm just gonna wipe it off. Now I know that in here, right in there is also really greasy. I'm not sure how I can get into there. So I'm not gonna worry about that right now, but we're just gonna go ahead and wipe this off. All right, let's go ahead and get this out and clean in here. And I like to take this out and just wash this in the sink with hot water and dish soap. I'm gonna remove this as well. We're just gonna start from the top here. Now all that steam loosened up everything that was in there. So this is really easy to wipe off. Now since we worked on the dishwasher and that took quite a while, this is kind of a nice easy one that we can get done really quick. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, just go ahead and pick one of the items to clean today and then maybe come back another day and clean some of the other ones. Be sure to get the door here, and then inside we just want to get anything that we can see that's greasy, grimy, all along the inside here. Now here you might need to just spray some of your vinegar spray onto your rag. Just gonna kind of get in here, some grease in there. Okay. To finish off the microwave, we're gonna use our spray here again. We'll just spray the whole front down and get the sides. Let's just get that a wipe. I like to try and kind of dig my finger into these little crevices just to get all of it, any gunk that's in there, out. And then you can take your towel and thread it through if you want to and kind of have it go back and forth to get right underneath the handle there. Okay, now the microwave looks shiny and new. And we're also gonna put the turn plate here back in. And there you go. How often do you clean under your sink? I don't clean it often enough. This is usually a catch-all for cleaners and sponges and usually crumbs and sticky messes. And in here, I keep my garbage can so it gets extra smelly and gross. And sometimes pieces of garbage or food drops down. It's pretty dirty on the bottom here. So we're gonna empty this out, wipe it down, get it all put back, and that will feel much better and smell much better. Okay, I'm gonna reach back here and just pick up the pieces of garbage that I can see. I see an orange, dried up orange peel. Yum. I'm gonna grab a vacuum and just give this a good vacuum first before I go and wipe it down. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the same spray I've been using on everything else and just give the entire thing a spray and let it sit for just a couple minutes. All right, let's get this to wipe down. I let the spray soak. Let's see how easily this comes off. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful. That came right off. Oh, that feels amazing. And while I'm at it, this inside of my cupboard here is disgusting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray that. This one isn't as bad at all. It still is dirty and I'll give that one a wipe down. But this is the one where the garbage sits. So it gets pretty nasty. There we go. Not perfect, but definitely better. Look how beautiful and clean. Look how much better. Smells fresh, nice and clean. All right, I just heard my dishwasher. That was done. Look at all that steam coming out. I love that. It sure looks clean in here. So I am very happy with all the results. All of that's cleaned up. All the black goo that was there. And again, let's just check the filter. So much better. It's not full of dirty water. I'm very happy with the clean dishwasher. All right, this one is surprisingly satisfying. We're gonna work on the disposal. Have you ever tried to retrieve something from your garbage disposal and you have to stick your hand in there? I know I probably shouldn't, but I do. I stick my hand in there. I've heard about using tongs or something, but what if there's like a tiny, tiny little thing in there that I can't get out? Who wants to stick their hand in there? It's disgusting. So we're gonna work on the disposal. The very first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on the disposal just to make sure that anything in there is out. Ah, you hear that? Okay, I've been wondering if there was something that was stuck in there, and I hear a little tiny thing and I can try and peek inside and I just don't see anything. So I am going to reach my hand in there with these gloves on and see if I can feel what is in there. Ugh. And see all that slime that's underneath the little rubber gasket thing? That's the gross part to me. Okay, I can't feel anything. Well, I might try and clean this all first and then take off the glove and put my hand down there, but gross. Can you see that grossy, slimy stuff? Now, I also heard that you can just pull this little gasket out on some sinks. I've never tried that. We're gonna see if it pops out on mine. And no, it does not just pop out. We're gonna have to try and clean underneath the little rubber gasket with the toothbrush. All right, so I know you can pour some baking soda in there and then some vinegar and watch the fizzy reaction, and then that would work well. But I wanted to try something different today, so I got this little package of garbage disposal cleaners. We're gonna give this a try and see how it goes. We're just supposed to put this entire packet, do not open, we're supposed to shove it in here. And then we're supposed to turn it up a little bit, turn on the disposal. Here comes some blue foam. Ooh! I can see a bunch of gunk coming up. Yay. Now it said it could come up this other side, but I don't see it. Oh, just right back. Sounds like it's done. So that got cleaned up. We're going to turn off the disposal now and just rinse off this blue stuff. We are going to clean here, and I'm simply going to use water. And I'm just going to stick the toothbrush. Actually, I want my gloves on for this. All right, we're gonna stick the toothbrush in here and just give that a wipe. And wow, okay. Actually, that could have gotten cleaned really good by the cleaner because it's not super gunky like I was thinking. There's a little bit. Okay, let's keep trying. Oh, there's some. Not as much as I was expecting. I'm just gonna kind of wipe as much as I can inside here. Definitely corrosion down there. I probably should be cleaning this more often. A beautiful, clean sink with a clean disposal. So I'm really curious. I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these surprised you the most? Which one was the most satisfying to you? I didn't realize how much these were bothering me, but it feels so much better and my kitchen smells and feels a lot fresher. And did you know that you also should be cleaning your dryer? I've left a video for you right here to teach you how to clean out a dryer. Thanks so much for tackling this real life mess with me today. And remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.